It's real. It looked almost too perfect. I mentioned in the New Earth at the beginning there's something about flowers. That flowers traditionally have been associated closely with spiritual realization and as a spiritual, like almost a messenger from the realm, the transcendental realm of spirit. Jesus talks about flowers. He says, look at the flowers, he says. He didn't say, as you read in the translation, consider the lilies of the field. He doesn't say, he said, look at the flowers. And I mentioned the Buddha, the famous silent sermon, you may remember. Well, remember reading it, or maybe you were there when he held it. Where he held up a flower and smiled a little bit and never said a word. And everybody was puzzled. That shows you, by the way, the approximate level of spiritual realization, the fact that everybody was puzzled, except for one person who suddenly got it, said, and of course then the person doing a PhD about Buddhism says, what is it that this person suddenly got? Well, of course, his mind stopped and he smiled naturally because he can feel the life that is deeper than form, and he saw the flower as an expression of that, and himself and the Buddha, temporary expressions of that, the realization of that, and that's it. But I do recommend flower meditation, not say I'm now going to do a flower meditation, but in a more organic, natural way, to perhaps, if you have flower at home from time to time, just spend a few minutes. Don't overdo it, just 3, 4, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, just looking at a flower, and allow the flower to help you to stop thinking. Acknowledge the silent presence of the flower, because it's very silent. The flower is very still. It's not thinking. It's alive. It's not thinking. It is there in this field of stillness, just is, but alive. So for a minute or 2 or 3, the flower can teach you to be absolutely in this dimension of stillness, connected with the source, which of course the flower is very deeply, because it hasn't gone out as far from the source as humans, gone out even less in a way than animals. It's still more closer to the source, it's an expression of the source. And so you allow the flower to connect you with the source in yourself. It's where you meet it, and it's just to acknowledge not only the external beauty of the flower, without thinking. When you look at the flower, see if you can let go of all thought even thought, oh, that's a beautiful flower. No, that reduces it already to something. It's not a beautiful flower. It's much vaster than that. And you can't get the vastness so that it becomes an opening into the vastness of life itself. The moment you say it's a pretty flower, you think you know what it is, but you've already reduced it to something silly, almost. And then you realize it's how still it is. Then as you look and see the beauty, you also tune into the stillness that's in and around it. And of course, the moment you tune into the stillness around the flower, you become still yourself. You can't tune into the stillness and still be noisy. Tuning into the stillness means to participate in it. It's a wonderful meditation. So, if you have flowers at home, do it every day. It's good to have at least one flower at home. You can also do a whole bunch of flowers, but I think one is almost more powerful. You could take in the totality of this also, that is also lovely, but you can spend the rest of the day pointing to this and looking at it.